What's up, YouTube? Cameron Scott here. Welcome to the Video Gallery channel. Okay, so in this channel, I'm about to be talking about topics. Okay, I'm about to be talking about things that are happening in the world, on the news, in society, all that other stuff. You know what I mean? I like to look away. I'm not me looking at myself the whole time is something I don't want to do. So my eyes are gonna be over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing a YouTube video, so and typically in camera rolls, I don't never look at myself. But let me look at myself in the introduction. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? So look, here's how we're gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be talking about whatever the fuck I want to on this channel. You know what I mean? This is a channel I'm doing more so for me and my future generation. You will see me probably spit in this shit. Y'all already know what chips mean. You know that from Cam That Guy and photo gallery videos I never really get published. This is what this channel is for. It's to publish them. That's what it's for, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Temporarily, I will look back at the screen. But for the most part, you know what I'm saying? This shit is for, you know, like I said, photo gallery videos and all that other shit that probably never gets seen that need to be seen. And just more important videos, marquee videos that need to, you know what I'm saying, spread about. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's just what it is and shit. Now with that being said, I don't need to, you know what I'm saying, give a fucking autobiography about myself. You already know who the fuck I am, no chuck. You already know who the fuck I am, you know what I'm saying? So there's no point in even doing that. But, you know what I'm saying, we're about to go ahead and get into it. We're about to get fresh into it, you know what I'm saying? We're about to get into talking about the 5 major tyrants. This is the topic of this video. We're going to get right into it, you know what I'm saying? I was going to load up and kind of talk about something else. Then talk about the tyrants? No. We're going to, let me chill one more time. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. We're going to talk about the tyrants, like straight up. Like, that's going to be our first topic. And then we'll probably talk about, you know, the basketballs and all that other shit. But we're going to get, you know what I'm saying, right into it. We're going to get right into talking about tyrants. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're going to end up doing. So let's begin. 5 major tyrants. Chip. 5 major tyrants. Chip. 5 major tyrants. If you don't know, Drake, Doodoo Garbage, aka DDG. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby, XXX Tentacion, and Young Thug. These are the 4 major, my fault. 5 major tyrants in my life. I'm used to saying 4. I just originally included Young Thug. So these are the 5 major tyrants in my life. I'm not running. It made my body speed up, you know. I had to count that out on camera. You know what I'm saying? I do feel when you touch my body. You know, so I just want you to know that. You know what I mean? I feel every little movement. I feel the slightest touch. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know that. But yeah, you know what I mean? It ain't even no slight touch. It's a noticeable touch. Like you're moving a muscle. Like I'm going to feel it. You're moving a muscle in my body. Like I'm going to feel that shit. You know what I mean? If I'm not moving it and you moving it, I'm going to feel it. If my brain is not thinking to move it, you know what I'm saying? And if you move it subconsciously without me moving it, then I'm going to feel it. Even if my brain moves a muscle, I'm going to feel it myself. No matter if I think to feel it or not, I'm still going to feel it. Just like I felt to itch my sideburn. You know what I mean? I felt to itch the other sideburn. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to feel it. You see what I'm saying? That's just what it comes down to. But anyway, so I did add him to my new tyrants list or whatever. So we're going to begin, you know what I'm saying, breaking down all the tyrants. I did add Young Thug to my list. But he's somebody that really been... I did forget what I was getting ready to say, but, you know, we're going to, you know, just keep going. That's just what happens. So Young Thug, he hasn't really been involved in my life, obviously, in recent memory. But we can honestly just begin with him because he's a new tyrant, so we're going to get him up out the way. So Young Thug, you know what I'm saying, he hasn't been involved in my life as far as, like, around fucking, ever since fucking, you can say 2020, my nigga, or 2019. You can say pretty much since... after graduating high school, 2018, this nigga has not been involved in my life. It's been more so the DDGs he kind of took over, the little babies. Drake was kind of in the cut, but he didn't come about until 2019. You know what I'm saying? To where, like, you know, his tiredness, you know what I'm saying? All that other shit. So, Young Thug had, like, 2017 back. That's kind of what Young Thug had. And then obviously DDG had about 2018 to 2020. You know what I'm saying? And then once I got a job and shit, you know, things kind of settled down as far as like, you know, just society and shit. But still, DDG had a little bit of that edge. But truly, I want to give Lil Baby a little bit of light though. I want to give Lil Baby a 2019. I don't think DDG had Lil Baby in 20. Matter of fact, he didn't. In 2019, I wasn't even looking at or listening to DDG. I was more so on Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? So even in 2018, I was on Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? So I was on Lil Baby. I would say DDG had about the majority of 2018. Then I got on Lil Baby. And shit. Then I got on Lil Baby from 2018 until 2019, probably until 2020, you can say. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, that's when I'm just naming the people I was on, and then we're gonna talk about Young Thug. And then once things kind of settled down, I talked about being happy. We will talk about that in this video. And Teeth. Somebody remind me about Teeth Addict or whatever the case may be. We got to talk about this Teeth situation. But matter of fact, we're gonna talk about it right now before we forget. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the teeth. So I learned that the dentist people, the wisdom teeth people, they left a tooth in. They did not take out 4 teeth, they took out 3. And I just learned that, you know what I'm saying? They said they left one in because we think that you're spiritual, but at this time I did not read the Bible. I would jack off. I did not pray. Far from spiritual, lousy excuse. You know what I'm saying? But that's, you know, what they were saying. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Far from it. Far from it. You know what I mean? So that right there is not believable. They should have just said because they should have said something else. I'm not gonna lie. They could have just said because we're jealous. They tried to me about that trash ass song called Matcha that's about to get debunked on Tuesday. They tried to me about that song and shit. Low key, I need to. I probably should push back to look good just for the host. You know what I mean? I never seen nothing like it. Like on Tuesday, let me come correct. Let me do right all the way up until Tuesday. Let me just see how shit look and probably do a little adjustment. And then like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because on Tuesday, I'm getting ready to network. You know what I mean? So y'all stay tuned for that. The only part about it, the back of my head is chopped as fuck. But that's not the point. That's not you know, what is, you know, Chuck. That's not as well of concern. You know what I'm saying? Chuck. What is of concern is, you know what I'm saying, me just looking good for them and shit. Let me look good for them. Let me not half-ass. You know, if I'm getting ready to network with hoes, I need to look my best. I'm gonna say it again. If I'm networking with hoes, I need to look my best. So on Tuesday, I will be going over my hairline again, just like I did in that old picture with the purple shirt. Let's keep shit fair and let's compare on Tuesday. Just exactly. That was right. That was 2 days later. I retouched my hairline. Let me do the same thing. You know what I mean? All that other shit. I obviously, no, obviously, you know what I'm saying? I heard the addict say, do not push back. There's no need for me to push back. I'm just going to hit the corners. I'm a barber. You know what I'm saying? Now, push comes to shove, you know what I'm saying? It depends on how the edge look. Pushback might be necessary. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, a pushback will happen. I'm not gonna lie. A pushback is gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's the first time I really address something. A pushback is gonna happen. That's not gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be scarred the fuck up way back here. But a pushback is bound to happen. Just by me knowing of being a barber, I kind of know what's going to end up happening. It's not gonna be a bad one. But you know what I'm saying? With me being a barber, a pushback most likely might be necessary. It depends how my hair lays down. If the do-rag can lay my hairs down properly, a pushback might not even be necessary. Let's get back to the teeth though. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the teeth and shit, you know what I mean? I would say they did not put nothing in it. I do not have nothing in my teeth, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Which is good because I get to receive full credits for all the songs. All the COVID songs, I get to receive full credits. You know what I mean? And that's what matters most. You know what I'm saying? Because people are probably wondering, well, how'd you get this thing going? If the procedure people didn't put some shit in you. When I walk the streets naked, they put a chip inside me. That's when they got connected to me. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. that was when I got taught out. That was on the process of the end of verse getting taught out being had. Was after that moment on, that's when I got taught out that process of being had. And after that moment, I wasn't even doing music at all. You know what I mean? That shit happened. I don't know when it happened. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But that shit happened when I was pretty much. It would happen when I was 20 years old for sure. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, after 20 years old, the only two songs I came out with was after 20 years old, the only two songs I came out with was Brilliant and Chosen Part 2. Those are the only two songs I came out with. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, what are you talking about? Those are literally the only two songs I came out with after 20. You know what I'm saying? And obviously I had this one song I was kind of floating on. It was called Pristine. Obviously it was called a couple different names back then. But Pristine, I was kind of floating on that song between 19 and 20 of jail and shit like that. So you got that song as well. But other than that, after that song, these are the only two songs that came out afterwards. So it's like, yeah. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Which means that I get to receive 100% full credits for all of the COVID songs. You know what I mean? Which means I was better than right now. That's what, you know, the beat and the things was saying. As I listen to my music, the good part about it is I can hear what y'all are thinking, whereas in other old mixtapes, I cannot. You know what I mean? So that means that, you know, this is definitely a evolutional album that will be getting played a lot because I can hear what y'all feeling and thinking compared to all the other ones where I cannot. So that means, you know, we're going to be playing this shit like a month, and it sounds good as fuck. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll hurry up and finish off this wisdom teeth shit. So, yeah, when it pertains to the wisdom teeth shit, they did not put a chip in me. Obviously, I seen the whole nothing in it. You know what I mean? All that other shit. They weren't even thinking about to put something in there. It's all lies, all that other shit. And if they did, they would have took that tooth out. I mean, logically. Why would you leave it in for? You're going to take it out to put more technology in. You need as much technology as possible, right? There's no way you're leaving that shit in. You know what I mean? Like, and common sense, like, if I'm a doctor, like, there's no way I'm leaving that shit tooth in. Like, I'm stuffing as much technology in you as possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to read you. You know what I mean? Fuck that spiritual shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do and shit. Now, I'm not trying to debunk God or anything or Jesus, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm trying to hack you, I'm putting as much technology in you as possible. I'm not going to half-ass it. You know what I'm saying? We need this shit to work. You see what I'm saying? I'm just thinking as if if I'm a doctor, that's my mindset. You know what I mean? Let me chill. So it's like, yeah. You know what I mean? So we know that's not the truth. And obviously we know how other people know that they move around and shit because they get chips in them. So if all the people around the streets, you can get surgery, I mean, you got a chip put in you. Just like I did from walking the streets naked. You got a little chip. You know what I'm saying? That's what ended up happening, right? So that's how, you know, that's what ended up happening. So yeah, just want to give out clarity so I can receive full credit for these songs. And you're probably wondering, well, are you going to get that last wisdom tooth removed up here? Nope. Never get surgery again. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it come down to. So it's like, yeah, only time I get surgery, you knock me out. which is what we're trying to do. A chip. We trying to do that, you know what I'm saying, with basketball. But niggas scared. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? We just don't know at this point. But anyway, just want to go ahead and talk about that. So I received full credits for everything pretty much 20 years old and back, but we're going to say 19. You know what I'm saying? 19 years old and back, I can receive full credits for everything. A lot of people are wondering, and we got to talk about this before we get into the Tyrants, and then we're going to see if we get into other things. A lot of people are probably wondering, well, besides making music, which is something that you liked, but you didn't really care too much about this, that, and the third, what else, you know what I'm saying? Because the music was definitely a hobby for me. I cared about it, but it wasn't as serious as it was in 2023. What else are you going to take credit for? That's easy. Because a lot of people, they don't know what skills I had outside of writing music. You know, vocabulary and wordplay. Didn't know what I had outside of that. Video gaming was a skill I had. Back then, when I used to play video games, when I was more into it, I stopped playing video games like at 17, I believe, senior year. You know what I mean? That's when I stopped playing video games. But beforehand, very much seasoned. I repeat, very much seasoned. So pretty much the last time I played video games was 2K16. I believe Steph Curry was on there. If I'm not mistaken, that was the last active basketball game I played. I think 17 had Paul George on there, so my fault. I played 17. I didn't even get 2K18 to my knowledge. I had Kyrie Irving on there. It was saying that he envied me and shit like that. And, that was funny. Yep. That's when I was damn near peak basketball at that time. I was 17 years old. As far as like my abilities, I'm playing niggas on the basketball team. I'm playing all type of competition. Like that was like peak basketball as far as like me and my competition level. I was peak around 17 years old as far as like me playing against niggas. Me in like competition. Like I actually, came across niggas better than me. I came across niggas that I could beat. I was peak, you know what I'm saying, around 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But besides that and shit, you know what I mean? And obviously my hand was at all time low because I actually practiced for the first time in life. Back then I only practiced with my shot. Recently I practiced on everything else outside of shooting. That's why I'm noticeably better. You know what I mean? So I just want to get clarity with that. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? But video gaming is a talent. You know what I'm saying? You can get paid for that shit nowadays. So I was good at video games. I want to name some video games. I'm dragging this video, but I feel the need to touch on this video-wise because I never did. Welcome to the Video Gallery channel. Like I said, this video will either be 30 or 50. Looks like it might be 50, so you're in for a ride. So anyway, I was saying not literally, but man, let's go and get into it. So, video games I played back then, you know what I'm saying, we could begin with, let's begin with Spider-Man. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions was obviously, you know what I'm saying, my favorite Spider-Man game. It was the only Spider-Man game I ever legitimately played. You know what I'm saying? But obviously I played Spider-Man 3 before. And then I believe these are the only two video games I played was Spider-Man 3 and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. So Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions was a game I played. And I played on the hardest level, might I add. You know what I mean? And all that other shit, you know what I mean? Nice game to play. I had skills on it. All that other shit. Interesting game. The toughest one is Nora. Nora Spider-Man is definitely, it's the funnest and the toughest one. You know what I'm saying? It's fun because you're in the night, all that other shit. I like it because when you do the wave, like, you take them up and shit like that. I like Spider-Man. I did a little chip to have me moving. But I like, it's called the bullshit. That's how I feel you and stop touching me because I'm going to cuss you out on the courts. But anyway, so when it comes down to it and shit, you know what I mean? Nora is definitely my favorite. Then it will be 2099. Yes, I did say 2099. I like the storyline and I like the car and the scenery. More is to know, as far as skills and ability, I would go with Nora than regular Spider-Man. Yes, regular Spider-Man is more dope than Black Suit Spider-Man. Fuck and Future Spider-Man. Fuck Future Spider-Man and his abilities. So I was getting ready to kill him, but I left it. Fuck Future Spider-Man and his abilities, but he's still cool and shit like that. So it will go Nora, regular Spider-Man, Black Suit Spider-Man, then 2099. So Future Spider-Man, let's just say Future Spider-Man. That's what it will go. So yeah, so Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. I obviously played Naruto's. We're not gonna get into detail, but my favorite Naruto game was Storm 2. Naruto Storm 2. Shippuden Storm 2, that's my favorite Naruto game. Dragon Ball Z, favorite Dragon Ball Z game. And my recent memory, the last one I played was Raging Blast 2. Fun game and shit. I gotta go with Tenkaichi though. You know what I'm saying? Because Tenkaichi was like one of them games where it's like, I feel this game, but that was like way back in my past. That was before teenage years. but Tengachi was fun to play. Song Unleashed, we gotta touch on that, you know what I'm saying? That is my favorite song game of all time. I was good at this game. Bought Halo 4, beat it on one day, returned it back. NBA 2K, I beat my brothers in it. They threw the controller, play me outside. I played on Hall of Fame and with 60 overall, my career, and beat the level as well. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, I played a Hall of Fame quick game, beat it, and I played my brothers beat it. I was the best at 2K. I just, I had to, say that. Let me see. What was besides that? What video games I played besides that? We can get into, I'm trying to see what other console games. You know what I'm saying? What other console games before I get into the handhelds. And handhelds do count as well. Oh, I played Infamous. You know what I'm saying? Infamous was a game that I played. That game was pretty easy, but it was easy but tough. You know what I mean? It was a nice little adventure mind game. What else besides Infamous? Let me see. I'm trying to see what other console games was out there. That's about it. That's about it. Yeah, man. So it's like, yeah. You know what I mean? That's pretty much everything. So, yeah, these are the games I played and shit. So I was like, yeah. I know y'all see me on the channel now. You're probably wondering, well, what games have you, do these compare to you back then? Hell no. Back then, I played all type of games. Then we swing into the handheld. That's when it's like a whole new level. Like, you swing into the handheld, I play all type of shit on that bitch. You know, it was like handheld, and it was 3-dimensional. It wasn't no 2D bullshit. It was 3D as well. But I was trying to think of everything console, like everything big that has some type of recording on it. You know what I'm saying? That you can kind of track. Like FBI should be able to track some old videos. FBI and CIA, they should be able to track some old recordings off the TV. I was trying to think of console first before I move into a handheld. That's just me giving clarity. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, just being honest with you. If they want to release those files, you know what I'm saying? They can, or whatever the case may be. Obviously, they're hiding a file with me with a knife. And obviously, they're hiding that one. You know what I mean? But if they want to release those files with me playing video games, FBI, CIA, you're more than welcome to do it. I don't give no fucks. They need to know that I had a video game talent. But all of them, make sure you release the NBA ones, because it's funny. You know what I mean? Make sure you release the NBA ones. Let me chill. But yeah, you know what I mean? Outside of that, you know what I mean? The council ones are a whole different animal, because the council ones are actually way more like. Now the council ones, I don't think you'll be able to get a recording, so you have to take my word for it. Let me chill. So you have to take my word for it. You know what I mean? We're gonna drag this probably about to, they'll fast forward time. But we gotta hurry up. This video might be an hour or two, 'cause I gotta talk about these terms, but I didn't talk about my skills before Chip. You know what I'm saying? I just feel I need to do it for all intents and purposes. You know what I mean? But anyways, handheld, you got the Marios. You know what I mean? You got, obviously, you got Naruto on there. Yeah, Dragon Ball. But let me name other shit on there, other type of shit. Assassin's Creed. You got God of War. I did play God of War. There was this other game called Soul Eater. I eventually finally beat that whole game. There was a game called Metal Gear Solid. There was a game called let me see. I'm trying to just name a few little shits. I did play this 2-dimensional Prince of Persia game. I tapped into the 3D one a little bit. My brother introduced me to that game, obviously. You know what I mean? But I played the 3D one here and there periodically. Never was the biggest fan of this game because I thought it was boring. But obviously, he had that little dagger. Um, the first one that came out was Sands Against Time, right? My brother was having a difficult ass time because he didn't know what a triangle jump was at this time. You know what I mean? All that other shit, right? I remember it like it was yesterday, right? And I'm just watching that, looking at him having a meltdown and shit. Like, you know what I mean? So a triangle jump is when you hit a wall and you bounce off it and go to another wall. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what that was and shit. And I think he figured it out by, I don't know how, I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much what happened or whatever, right? You know what I mean? But, you know, speaking of my brother, we played fighting games like Naruto. I would beat him in that. It's funny how I said it, but I like to compare myself to people because that determines your skill level. You know what I mean? All that other shit. And then on the contrary, you're going to be like, oh, they let you win, they didn't. Because if I can win on Hall of Fame with 16 overall, I believe I'm actually good. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? When it come down to it and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? And plus they wouldn't do that obviously. I know them. I know them. But yeah, yeah, I'm saying that's just what it is and shit. But yeah, I would say, and it went up to 70 and shit. But I would say, you know what I mean, when it comes down to it and shit, very skilled at video games. I played Mortal Kombat before. I played Tekken. You know what I mean? Oh, those were console games though. The Mortal Kombat was console, but I did play that on the handheld. My brother would let me play it on his thing or whatever. So yeah, I played on the PS Vita. I played it on there and shit. And obviously for console wise, I did play the newer one and all that other shit, but that was the only one, the only Mortal Kombat I legitimately played was the newer one. What the fuck am I talking about? You know what I mean? But I saw the older ones that my brother would play, like Shaolin Monk or Mortal Kombat Armageddon, wherever the case may be. You know what I mean? But I only play like the newer ones. They were more intriguing to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like Shaolin Monk was bird's eye view. I'm like, that shit's trash. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to play that shit, even though I did play it. You could do 2-player on that. I believe we did do 2-player actually. It was not entertaining to me because I didn't like the camera view. That Mortal Kombat Armageddon, it looked very boring. Naruto was way more funner to play. So that's the reason why it was like a 2D fighting game or whatever. Blah. Play Street Fighter though. Street Fighter is a fun game to play. You know what I'm saying? So we get into Street Fighter, man. I played that game. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. We were playing Street Fighter before my exposure to hackness. And obviously other games before my exposure to hackness, like Mortal Kombat that came before exposure to hackness. Just give it clarity. And all that other shit. As far as fighting games, Naruto that came before exposure to hackness, even more clarity. You know what I mean? All that other shit. So just like, yeah. You know what I mean? But what it comes down to and shit, you know what I mean? We go to, I forgot what I was talking about. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? The point I'm making is, you know what I'm saying? I knew how to do video games, all that other shit. And yeah, that's what I knew how to do. Each other time. Yeah, so that's what I knew how to do and shit, you know what I mean? So I could be my brother at games, and I get off track because I keep, you know, giving out facts after fact after fact. I like to give out facts, you know what I mean? All that other shit, because I'm a nigga that go off facts, you know what I mean? So any negative thing you say to me, I can debunk it with facts to your zero facts. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it going, shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, and back to the handhelds though. Let me name a few more. I played, as far as handhelds, PSP wise, I played, I said, let me see, I gotta try to remember. Fuck. Okay, so I played Metal Gear Solid. I played Soul Eater, Origami, whatever it's called. I played Naruto. I played Dragon Ball, the Shin Budokai. I played Sonic. I don't remember what Sonic game I played on PSP. I know I always play Sonic on each level. I'm about to get into DS in a second, but as far as the PSP, what game did I play on there? Sonic was, I think Sonic Rivals. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think, man. What else? I believe I played. It been many years ago. This is like a decade ago, man. I'm 25, so this all happened literally a decade ago. No longer than 15. Cause once I got 16, 17, the only games I would play is NBA. So you know what I'm saying? When you bring it back, this is literally like a decade ago. I'm 25, so it's hard to remember. And my memory rate bad as is. So it's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, ask my brothers; they'll probably be able to tell you. Hopefully, they be truthful, don't be hating and jealous like old workers, like old coworkers that lie. You know what I mean? Be hating and jealous for no reason. So I don't know. You gotta ask them. Their memory might be more better than mine. You know what I mean? All that other shit, and then we'll go from there and shit. But yeah, I don't know. Outside of that, I don't really know. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. For PSP wise, I don't really know too much. DS, I can give a little bit more clarity on. Let's get into 3DS. So, good amount I played on there, man. Well, not a good amount, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't do all that much on that bitch. Mario, of course. You know what I'm saying? Yep, I do like Mario. Easy, but it's hard. It's a good brain game. Not the Mario 64, but Mario 64 is hard, and I beat all of it. I got all 150 stars. But outside of Mario 64, I played Mario 3D Land. This is a fun game. Very good around this time. Mario 3D Land. I played Amazing Spider-Man. I played let me see. I'm thinking of a fighting game. I played Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? They did have Street Fighter on 3DS, and all that other shit. So that's Mario, Amazing Spider-Man, Street Fighter. I played. What others on 3DS did I play? I played. I need to name a few more. I ain't gonna lie. Give me 1 second. I can at least name 5, and then we'll be done with 3DS. I'm gonna bring it back to DSi. Let me think, man. Fuck it. Damn, this was a decade ago. All right, man. Let me think of Sonic. What game I played for Sonic was? Sonic. What games I played for Sonic on 3DS? Maybe it was Sonic. I want to say Sonic Rush, but that was DSi, so I can't really say that. As far as 3DS, I think it was a Sonic game out there for that. I think it was shooting games. I have a shooting game for 3DS. Let me think. They didn't have no Call of Duty on that bitch. Man. So no shooting games. I think of a racing game. Not any racing games on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think. Let me go into adventure. I gotta get ready to see, man. So adventure, man. What? Let me look at 3DS games. I gotta look them up so I can know what I played because I don't know. I gotta combine. All right, y'all. So I'm trying to see the games that I played on 3DS. So obviously, the games that I named was Mario 3D Land, which is right here. And then I played Street Fighter and The Amazing Spider-Man. I did play Sonic Lost World. I did play Mario Kart 7. You know what I'm saying? So that's 5. And then there was something else I saw. Do y'all remember what it was? I don't remember. I gotta see if I can. Memory stinks. So I gotta try to see real quick. What was something else that I seen? It was something. Ah, Naruto. Okay, let's see what Naruto games were on. Naruto. Well, let's see what Naruto again. I know I played Naruto like that. That was like my anime. So let's see. What Naruto games was on here? What did I say? New Era. Man, what Naruto games was on this bitch? Maybe it was on DSi. I get DSi because you could play DSi games on 3DS. So 3DS didn't come out with a lot, but let's go into the DSi ones. I'm gonna tell you if I played it or not. You're gonna be shook. Play Ninja Destiny, play Path of Ninja, play Council, play Path of Ninja 2, obviously. Never got the Council 4, but did play 3. I remember one of there, can I play Naruto Ninja Clone 3? They said, oh, do you mean Naruto Ninja Council 3? I'm like, yeah, bitch. You know what I mean? I thought that said clone. Where's the council at? Where's council at? Did I just see that bitch? Oh, right here. I thought that said clone. But it's council. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyways, you know what I mean? But these are games that I played. Yep. My favorite one was Naruto Ninja Destiny 2. That was my favorite Naruto DS game. Obviously on 3DS you can play DSi games as well. So yeah. And obviously we just go into DS games in general. We're gonna bring it back. Let's go ahead and get going with it. Let's see Mario 64, that's funny. And then we're gonna get into cooking. I'm being childish, but I feel I need. Yeah, I played that, but I'm being childish. But oh yeah, I played this one too, yeah. And I played that one. And I played Zelda. I have not played Colors. I played on the console though. Did not play the Mortal Kombat. I played on the console though. I didn't know they had that though. That's Shattered Dimensions. I didn't know they had that on DS. I played Lego Star Wars on the console. That was my favorite Lego game. The games they showing is crazy. Yeah. They're not giving me a good selection of games. I'm trying to remember whatever games, but these are pretty much all the games I played. And yeah, man. Just giving you a general synopsis of what I played. But yeah, so from there, we covered the video games. So yeah. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those were the video games that I played. You know, I needed a screen record kind of show you because I kind of forgot many years ago, but I did play those games. And you guys, my brothers. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it for the burning pertains to that. So enough of the video games. Just want to let y'all know this is a skill set. So outside of writing, video games was a skill set I had before the chip. I'm just naming the skills I had before the chip to debunk any hatred out there. And then besides those two, we can get into cooking. Very underrated. I can never show it because I always have somebody cook for me. Didn't know how to cook because I watched the shows. Been around people who knew how to cook. That's how I know how to cook. This is something that just naturally came with me. And then obviously, you know what I'm saying, just a tad bit of common sense. Very little though. It's really trial and error. I make a mistake, I remember not to do it again. So it's kind of like a self-taught type of thing, / watching TV and all that other shit. But if you think I couldn't cook back then, you're wrong. And let me tell you what I could cook back then. Which is I never tried to cook much. But let me tell you what I could cook back then. I could cook a burger very well. You know what I'm saying? Of course that's very easy, but you'll be surprised how some people, you know, don't know how. You know what I mean? I knew how to cook breakfast very well. I know how to cook, you know, sausages, the eggs, you know what I mean, all that other shit. I know how to do it homemade as well. I could do it on the oven. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, could tell when something is done or not. You know what I mean? Let me name something unique that I could cook back then, and then we're gonna move on from cooking. Cooking is not really something. It is a skill set, but I'm not gonna be doing it once I get married. So it's not really, you know, nothing to even care about. Even as much as I like cooking, I don't like doing it. So I just want to let that be known. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? When people, if somebody does criticize my cooking, I give them no fuss because I don't want to. I'm not a chef. I don't care. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me see. Something unique that I could cook before this time, obviously. I would say. I mean, as far as making something. Hmm. Let me just think of something in general that I have made. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of something frequent. Let me think of something just unique I just made one time pretty easily. You know what I'm saying? I would say just one time I made a good brownie. It was back in school, and I did it very well. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I ended up doing. So yeah, we'll go with that. It was back in elementary, if I'm correct. Yeah, it was in elementary. Back in elementary, yeah. I was thinking middle school was some dumb reason, but I only went to one legit middle school. At the other middle school, they did have home economics with Tommy cooking as well. But um, you know, low key had two, but the other one it went downhill once I got famous from child porn exposure. You know that other shit. But yeah, that's kind of what it is. But anyway, um, but I had skills at this time like video game and basketball, music making. But yeah, you can check clips. I have facts. But yeah, so when it pertains to everything else, I mean, that's about it. I need to get ready to get on these tires and then we're gonna be done. But I'm just trying to name some shit about this wisdom teeth. I'm trying to just name, the fast before any type of chip. I debunked the wisdom teeth thing, so thankfully they did not put chip in my goddamn mouth. So thankfully, it was just came from walking the streets naked. So I could receive full credit for my songs and shit. And all that other shit. So it's like, yo. So I would say, let me see. So, what were we talking about cooking? So, as far as home economics, I came across a little bit of shit in there, but not really much. But back in elementary school, we made some brownie shit. Something like that. I don't even fucking know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. Was it? Yeah. I'm thinking middle school or elementary. I don't. My memory is bad. But anyway, that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? All that other shit. But anyways, you know what I mean? I don't know. Let me think of something else. Let me think of something more prominent. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think of something. I would say a pancake, but that's easy to make. A brownie's easy to make too. What the fuck? You just put some shit and you throw it out and you take it out. Let's say that for. And a pancake is harder. A pancake is way harder than making a brownie. Anybody knows that. Making a brownie is easy work. The middle schoolers can do that shit. You literally just get some shit. I believe you pour it into some shit and then you just put it in the oven. You watch it rise. You know what I'm saying? And it's oven cooked, so it does everything for you. You know what I'm saying? A pancake, you doing everything. You gotta flip that bitch like pancake 1,000 times harder than some brownie. You just pour in some shit and it cooks for you. You know what I'm saying? So I was at a pancake, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's why I know I could cook that early age. You know what I mean? What the fuck? That shit is way harder than a fucking brownie. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I cook unique. And I ate that bitch with syrup and butter. Ho. You know what I'm saying? So that was something unique. I ended up doing this shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, pancake me. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's pretty much it when it pertains to that. Yeah. And then, so skills I had before chipness was video games, vocabulary and writing, basketball, but I was not good. Now I trained the first time in life. But you can check close, but I was 17. Look at that age in particular, because I actually went against comp. But not only that, you can check 16 as well. I would check 15 through 17 as far as basketball, but mainly 17 because that was when I was at my best. And all that other shit. You know what I mean? And then, so basketball, video games, vocabulary and writing, which I always had since elementary. You know what I mean? And then last but not least, ooh, cooking. You know what I'm saying? Cooking. You know what I mean? But obviously, as time goes on, I used to literally watch Hell's Kitchen on TV before I even moved into this apartment and really began cooking. You know what I mean? So I hope y'all know, like, a lot of stuff that's come through trial and error and just watching shit. You know what I mean? That's just what it come down to. So a lot of people, they think this chip gives me intelligence. No, everything's organic, bitch. So that's what it come down to and shit. So it's like, yo, I remember I saw this one cute girl in there. I was like, man, I want her to win. That's probably why they made her win. I'm like, she don't seem like the best cook on there, but she won. I know, it's not like it. They probably read my thoughts and made her win. But yeah, that's just what happens. But she should own her own restaurant by now. I might slide over there as a guest, and you better know how to be a head chef. Well, I'm gonna get Gordon Ramsay on your bitch ass. I made that a goal. You know, it's like I gotta go over to your location. Cause I was rooting for your fine ass. That's what I was doing. So yeah, I said that to gas you up, but yeah, that's just what it comes down to. You was better than average. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I wanted you to win in my head. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it is. This is why I didn't know I was hot as well. But yeah, but I didn't know I had a chip. And this was recent. I know y'all remember that when I had the TV and shit. But yeah. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Story for another day. And yeah, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead, you know what I'm saying, move on to something else. So those are the skills I had back then. You know what I mean? All that other shit. So I felt the need, you know what I'm saying, to go ahead and say that. So the people out there that say I had no talent, those are my talents, you dumb, jealous, hating bitch. Don't make me repeat myself ever again, you bitch. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously, you know what I'm saying, when I got into the workforce, I learned how to count money and I learned hardware and paint. And I do know hardware. I repeat, I do know hardware. That's another skill set I do know. And I almost transferred to a hardware associate, but they didn't let me because of the manager being hating and jealous and a bitch. And he didn't want me to learn too fucking much and try to keep me at bay. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. And try to restrict me and all that. I was going to be floating around like I was going to learn everything at Home Depot. Very well seasoned handyman. Not all that I know is paint and a tad bit of hardware. I got hardware for y'all right now, but that's not the topic of this video. But I want to name that shit. These are skills that, you know, I obviously had before any chip. So make sure you be like Mike Wilson. We got him crack. You know, so all that other shit. You know what I mean? We go from there. But yeah, anyway, let's knock out these Tyrants, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll be done. So let's go and talk about Young Thug, like I said. You know what I'm saying? So Young Thug was somebody that I listened to growing up. He was my favorite rapper. I didn't find out about Young Thug until 2015, but I heard him around 2014. Nigga used to always play live stuff. I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? But I started hearing him. I think the first song I heard from Young Thug was on NBA. You know what I'm saying? It was Good Times. Right? I was like, what is this? This nigga sound nice. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, right? You know what I mean? Then at school, there was somebody that was playing a similar voice as this man. I was like, who is this? Who is this? Cause on NBA it shows the name of who is on there. So I was like, is that Young Thug? He was like, yeah. I was like, is he good? He goes, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I check out Young Thug, and then the rest is history. So I said around 2015 is when I discovered Young Thug. You know what I mean? So Young Thug is obviously, you know what I'm saying, somebody I listen to. He's a good rapper. All that other shit. Young Thug goes, thank goodness for NBA. I was gonna pop my head. I don't know what he's talking about. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just what it comes down to. But look, all Young Thug songs I know are 2015 and up. You know what I'm saying? The first album that Young Thug made the first album that I know that Young Thug know that my existence that he made, well, Slime Season 2 you could say. You know what I'm saying? I think he knew of my existence around that time. But you could say Slime Season 3 especially. I remember when that album first dropped. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was this song called Slime Shit. There was somebody that was playing that shit. There was somebody that said, oh, no. Cause he was talking about some line up tacos or something like that. That's what it was saying. So I don't know what that was about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that was about or some shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, that right there was crazy, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then he really know my name is Jeffrey. Back when I was 16, this is when I was around 11th grade, right? So this is something I know that he made, that he knew that I released when I got made or some of the shit like that or whatever, right? And something that I did peep is that he said the name Pablo in Harambe, right? And I didn't know what mafia meant, but he said mafia. But Pablo is a key word because this is what my acquaintances would say. You know what I'm saying? And I had no idea that he knew of me around this time. I had no idea. And he said the word Pablo, that caught my attention, but I never grabbed it because I know I was famous as heck. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up saying that shit. I was like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And that's where I got the growl from, because I do like when Young Thug did that shit at that time. I'm like, this is new. I like this shit. That is what it is. I remember when that album first came out, everybody was saying they like Harambe. I'm like, why do people like this song over all the other ones? It sounds different, but how the hell does it got the most views when it just came out in the first or second week? Because of me. You know what I'm saying? I was just playing. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta listen to that shit again and see what they were saying. I remember he was saying something about how they wanted me to get signed. Obviously, Young Thug's already signed, but how they wanted me to get signed because I was making music around this time. Cash Money AP was apparently my ruler and some shit like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck you, Cash Money AP. You a bitch because you got these hoes rejecting my ass. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? But yeah, that's just what it come down to and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. That's why he said he can't sign a deal. He goes, that's why I say I can't sign a deal. My fault, because when I sign a deal, I'm giving my life away. I'm giving my soul away, pretty much. You know what I mean? But he referred to Cash Money as God in this song or some shit. I'm like, I'm not signing to you, you heathen. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? And I think Young Thug came out with a song called "Call Me a Four" and goes, well, you can't sign a deal. I agree with that, because I'm signing my life away. I'm signing my soul away. And with who I mentioned I can't sign a deal because they were talking about it on Instagram. I'm not finna sign a deal because I'm losing my freedom and I'm no longer a leader. That's the reason why I don't want to sign a deal and shit. But yeah, just give me clarity on all this shit. But yeah, I stopped listening to Young Thug after senior year when he released Breezy, Third Girl. No, I think it was after what's that song album with the snake and the green and white? After that album. But I listened more to the guitar album, the Thugger Girl shit, Yahoo being bots. But it was better around this time. Nowadays, y'all are viciously evil. It was better when Young Thug had a little bit of power. You know what I'm saying? At least I had hoes. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? Nowadays, y'all awful. You know, at least I had hoes that actually, try with me and shit. You know what I mean? They gave me a chance and shit. You know what I mean? So it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah. But as far as Young Thug, let's go ahead and get the criticism. So I gave him his props. Let's go ahead and criticize Young Thug, and then we're gonna move on. And yeah, you know what I mean? We're gonna try to hurry up and wrap this up. So Young Thug, obviously, he's an evil tyrant, you know what I'm saying? He had niggas bully me, you know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I mean? He felt some type of way about me, jealous for no reason at all. Feels very entitled to me, you know what I'm saying? I have no idea why, you know what I'm saying? He's a bitch, you know what I'm saying? I also want to say that. And he can't fight. I see him swinging, he swing like a girl, you know what I'm saying? He swung like some, you know what I mean? No disrespect, but he swing like some, you know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it go. But anyways, but not only that, you know what I'm saying? He's horrible, you know what I mean? I don't even know, you know what I mean? Went to jail for racketeering. Let me not do that. Let me not do that with you, you know what I'm saying? But doing racketeering, you're pretty much, well, you're mafia, obviously. That's the reason why you're doing it. But I'm just saying, man, it's just, me and this nigga is obviously not like, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, you know what I mean? I'm a better rapper than you and all that other shit, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure you know that. I'm on top with Preluding Up, and I hope you know that shit. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? And I hope you like the COVID-19 one, you know what I'm saying? Because that's organically me, you know what I'm saying? So just to give you a little bit of closure, you know what I'm saying? I got a little something for you to, okay, this is actually like, okay, this is him, and this is when he matured and actually thinking to write some shit and all that other shit. So just giving you closure. And Midwest Swings, I did that as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, and other songs, but mainly Midwest Swings, that was the most popular song back in the day. But, you know what I'm saying? But man, that's just how it goes, shit, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's just how it be. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it go. But I hope, these others, 4 songs I handpicked to give you closure of my brilliance that you cannot trace of any copy except for you being a bitch and try to plan some shit by saying that lavish shit. And I seen that on Instagram or whatever, right? And I seen it on TV, all that other shit. So lavish means luxury, if you didn't know. You know what I mean? And I'm saying, this would actually spark me into a paying for pussy. Because there was also something else I crossed paths for as bouncing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like, I was like, I keep getting rejected. Let me try paying for it. So that's why I ended up saying that in the song. You know what I'm saying? It was like it wasn't an intentional thing. So I just want to say that for clarity. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? That's just how it go. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? When it come down to it and shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? You're not as bad as a doo-doo garbage or whatever the case may be. I mean, at least you had girls at least trying to talk to me and shit. You know what I mean? The doo-doo garbage, he don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Well, he's probably better than Tentazioni. You know what I mean? Or Drakey. I think Drakey's the worst. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. If Drake in charge, I'm getting those. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Do the garbage, I don't really know. I feel like, I don't know. Cause do the garbage, he came around 2018 or whatever. I mean, I guess he did try to do a little something, but he probably was flying in my city and fucking the hoes and Tyrant. You know what I'm saying? And don't trust us. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it being and shit. But nah, I mean, I would say, I don't know. I think Drew Gardner's pretty solid. I think he I just do it for the culture. You know what I mean? So I think, so he probably, at least, I think Doodoo Garbage and Young Thug were probably my best when they was in charge over my lives when it comes to women. I don't control you. You see what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. If I did, I would make you fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. You know what I mean? You listen to other niggas. So I'm just, that's just how it goes. I don't listen to Doodoo Garbage. Extreme copycat, you know what I'm saying? Why the fuck you listen to his ass for? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Then you got Young Thug. I mean, when you and Young Thug, I mean, I guess he tried to do this and that, but they're both tyrants and evil and very unequipped to be a ruler. The only thing you should be listening to is really me, Cameron Jordan Scott, nigga sitting here right now. And I bet you when I go to sleep tonight, somebody else gonna send this shit. I guess y'all gonna be fine over this bitch, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being real with you. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me chill. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how it's gonna end up being. Niggas must be in the city. We're gonna talk about that as I get on Tony's time. I gotta hurry up and wrap up. You know what I mean? I low key gotta poop too. I'm gonna have to hurry up and wrap up though. But I wanna speak on Young Thug and shit. But yeah, that's pretty much, you know what I mean, was Young Thug and shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I mean the bad in Young Thug honestly is just I feel like when it comes to boys, he can get I feel like when it comes to the men's side of it, he controls them a little too bad. You know what I'm saying? And all that other shit, to attack me. That's what I feel like, you know what I mean? But I feel like with the girls, it's definitely better than a Drake. I feel like Drake, he'll get the men to fuck with me, like fall back. You know what I'm saying? But he'll get, the girls to just be assholes. You know what I'm saying? I never seen nothing like it. You know what I mean? It's just like, damn. You know what I mean? I never seen nothing like it, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like what it is and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo. And we're going to talk about Drake, obviously, right after this. Let me finish Young Thug real quick. So at least he did something good with the girls. And DDG push come to sub, he'll make you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll see me and shit like that, you know what I mean? But Young Thug was a little bit more natural versus the DDG. Do it for the culture. Young Thug was more like, a little bit more naturalness. You know what I mean? All that other shit. But, yeah. You know what I mean? That is how it goes and shit. And Chuck. But yeah, that is how it be and shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, like I said, Young Thug, his main problem was getting men to hit on me and all that other shit. And then that's pretty much was it. It's just the men, like when he controls niggas, like that should be bad. Never leave Young Thug in charge at all. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. If you leave somebody in charge, you probably want it hurts me to say, you probably want to go and do the garbage because, I mean, at least, you know what I'm saying, men and women, it has a little bit of balance, you know what I'm saying? It has a little bit of parity because I know the men, they're not going to really try to, yeah, they're going to talk shit, but they're not going to try to hit a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then with the girls, he'll force you to do it if you don't. You know, that's how it goes and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that's just how it be. Yeah, I'm being honest with you. I'm being blunt with you at this point. This is good content right here. I'm just being honest with you, you know what I mean? So that's just how it go. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you know? But we don't talk about dude garbage after the Drakey. We gotta get into Drakey. You know what I'm saying? So the good in Young Thug is, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, made his girls fuck with me, and his music was, nice. You know, and all that other shit. And I guess he did other good things to me. You know what I mean? As far as I don't know. I think. I mean, outside of him doing musical favors, and having a better corruption over girls versus a Drake or Tatazi, I was. I can't think right now, but we got her to move on. But Young Thug, if you listening right now, you're not as bad as Drake. You know what I mean, or Tatazion. You know, I want you to know that you're not as bad as them. So don't think this, that, and third. But let's go and get into Drake. Have to talk about him in this video. It is mandatory. Now, when it comes to Drake, you know what I'm saying? This nigga is probably the worst tyrant in the world, and he deserves to die. And we about to get into this right now. So look, I'm gonna knock you out, and it could take till sunrise. I'm about to break you down real quick. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, look, man, you gotta be ouch. Okay, you trying to make me heart attack. I know this and I don't like it, man. This shit is ridiculous. So anyway, look, I must push through, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, look, you must be talked about. So anyway, look, you know what I'm saying? This dude right here is the worst ruler you can have, the worst tyrant out there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this nigga, yeah, he get the men to fall back and shit, but this nigga right here is he can also get men to get aggressive as well. He can go both ways. But when coming out to, I feel like when Drake was in charge, as far as like think about like the era of me doing music and all that other shit. Not even just that. We can let's put Drake and DDG kind of as the same because Drake DDG obviously submitted to Drake or whatever in a way. So if we bring it back to school time, I mean, around when I first went to Lincoln, obviously I didn't know of DDG. Dudes was low key trying me. When Dude Garbage got involved, not really. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, what's, what I mean? That's kind of what it is, shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, and the dudes that tried me, I was doing the buzz, was doing my art class, you know what I mean? And a few other dudes, but very little. It wasn't like a big try. When Dude Garbage got involved, that wasn't really there. And things got better when it pertained to women and shit. But still in that year, I still had girls I could talk to as far as Young Thug and shit. Was involved and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Because the girls, they feel that they need to worship something, right? So that's why, and my daughters would never, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, they feel the need to serve something. So what I do to garbage, he'll force you if he knows that, this, that, and the third. Young Thug, though, is more natural. It's not really like all of a sudden, why are you talking to me? When I do the garbage, it's like, why are you talking to me all of a sudden? So that's what's kind of like, AKA he forced you. And I didn't realize that until as I speak at this moment. That's the reason why like a girl would turn me down. And I'd be like, why are you talking to me for? You just turn me down. I do the garbage being like, do this for the culture. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I mean? He'd probably give you a band or something like that. I do the garbage, he a trick. He'll give you money and all that other shit, you know what I mean? He do that shit. That's kind of what it's like, right? Now, let's get into Drake real quick before I forget. I'm getting off track. So anyway, you know what I'm saying? When it pertains to Drake and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? This is the worst human being in the world. I mean, this nigga right here is evil. This nigga right here, he doesn't know the meaning of life. He has no purpose in life. He wants to feel like he's in control of everything, okay? This nigga is horrible. This nigga wanted to see me die in jail. He's evil. You know what I'm saying? He is horrible. He is the worst human being alive. You see what I'm saying? All that other shit. Don't care about how I feel. Only about how he feels, how I make him feel. Don't care about my feelings at all. You see what I'm saying? Let's break down his career. First of all, for the first half of your career was the half of it. You 40 damn near. You 39. I call you 40. We know that you 40. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even write. So knock off half of your goddamn career, which you didn't even write. You go to a Drake song album music, you seen 10 girls right underneath that bitch. You don't even write. But not only that, you know what I'm saying? You're an asshole. You're mean for no reason. You like to feel like you're in control. You think you some tyrant and shit. You blow dick. Blow me. Make a wish, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Makeawish.com. You blow me accordingly. You think you just down there. You're a plant and you're attached to me, you heathen. You know what I'm saying? That's what ended up happening. You know what I'm saying? You blow me well. That's just what it is. You and your team put some shit together, and now you're attached to me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what ended up happening. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna detach to you by Tuesday. That's what's gonna end up happening. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be like, yeah, that's what's gonna end up happening and shit. You're horrible. You're the worst human being ever. You're asshole. You're mean for no reason. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. And I'm gonna get into the little goods that you did, but I need to break you down real quick. You know what I'm saying? You wear baggy pants. You paint your nails. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You got women awful. Like when you with Drake is not a good ruler because he when it comes to the women, he controls them too hard. I like to go with a doo-doo garbage. At least he gonna see me like do this for the culture. You know what I'm saying? That's what he gonna end up doing and shit. Dude, Drake, he ain't gonna care at all. Tyrants, he ain't gonna care. He'd be like, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Just put a bunch of boys around me. You know what I'm saying? That's what he gonna end up doing. Do the garbage. He'll make a hoe or two come talk to me. That's what he'll do. I'm being serious. That's what he'll do. You know what I mean? That's just what it comes down to. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? When you I look at it as like a presidency. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the right president in office. That's kind of like what it's like, you know what I mean? Drake is not a good president. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, he's not a good tyrant. That's what I'm trying to get niggas to realize. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Drake just care about himself and how I make him feel. He don't care about how I feel or none of that shit. If he did, he would have been come got me. So that's just what it comes down to and shit. Anyways, you have no meaning in life. You think the meaning in life is to die or to kill. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Tassioni. You think death is the way of life. You don't have a purpose in life. You never did. What do? You know what I'm saying? And what are like your skills? Like what do you do outside of making music? What else are you good at? That's what I'm trying to figure out because you can't beat me in anything. I will beat the fuck out of you in basketball. And that's your biggest talent. And you still want to beat me in that shit. I'm being real with you because it ain't fucking music. You know what I'm saying? So what come down to this shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, outside of basketball and music, what are you good at? And I'm not saying you can't write, but I'm saying you go on a Drake song, Apple Music, you got 12 writers underneath that bitch. You got 17 writers, you got 90 writers. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's what it come down to and shit. Like, can you write your own music? You know what I mean? I never seen nothing like it, you know what I mean? Make a wish. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? But anyway, when it come down to it and shit, you know what I'm saying? You're a bad dictator. You're manipulating. You're evil. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. You are the scum of the earth. You fuck around, probably kill my kid. You know what I'm saying? Just to think about it and shit, you know what I'm saying? And if you kill my kid, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna say it again. If you kill my kid, I will kill you. I'm gonna make that happen. You know what I'm saying? I just won't let that be known. You know what I'm saying? If you kill my kid, I'm going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real with you, you know what I mean? You can die along with my kid. Since you taking my kid, you can die with my kid. That's like what's going to happen, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? What? You don't have a purpose in life. You jealous of girls, you jealous of my kid. That's why you're not a good president. At least I do the garbage going, do it for the culture. You just care about yourself and how I make you feel. You do not take my feelings into consideration. That's why you're not a good president. You don't care about how I feel. At least do the garbage does. At least Young Thug kind of does. You know what I'm saying? And all that other shit. So I was like, yeah, you don't take my feelings into consideration. That's why you're not a good tyrant. You know what I mean? Outside of that, you're manipulating and controlling way more than do the garbage and Young Thug. You fuck around and control them. You are very, very bad for dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know right now, you are the worst. You see what I'm saying? So what come down to it, at the end of the day, you just care about how you feel up to a certain point. And yeah, you may, try to, worship, but I look at it more as like, I just want to be you. I'm jealous. That's what I look at it as. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me, you need to come do something to prove yourself. Prove yourself to me. Do something. And I'm being serious right now. Let me get a little serious with you because I was doing a lot of criticism. Do something to avenge yourself. Because right now, you're the worst tyrant. You know what I'm saying? So do something to avenge yourself. What do you do? Like, for like me. You know what I'm saying? Besides you trying to be literally me, you need to find a way to avenge yourself because you have little to no chance with me. I don't give a fuck about you buying me some shit. Like, do something besides that, besides a gift. What can you do for me? What can you do to improve my feelings? You see what I'm saying? Like, on a serious note, like, can you, for example, this will be a good way to improve yourself. Me going to a doctor and successfully getting treated. That'll be a good way to improve yourself. Another way, to improve yourself. You know what I'm saying? Put some bodies on the court so I can play them. You know what I'm saying, fam? You. These are just small little things you can do to improve. You know what I'm saying? Your chances. You know what I mean? It's just things like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do stuff to make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that. You just literally tried to be me. You see what I'm saying? That's why you're unequipped to be a tyrant. You're unequipped to be a ruler. You know what I'm saying? You only care about how you feel, not nobody else. So that's why you're unequipped to be a ruler. At least a doo-doo garbage would be like, do this for the culture. You don't do that. That's why you're unequipped to be a ruler. This is me being serious. So yeah. But with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Let me chill. But with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when it comes down to everything else, I mean, shit. I mean, at least, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to name a little bit of goods, but let me finish off your bads. But what comes down to everything else, I mean, I would say, let me do a couple more bads before I get into the goods. So a few more bads I could say is obviously you don't know the meaning of life. You're manipulating, you're corrupting, you only care about how you feel. You know what I mean? You are very disturbing, you know what I'm saying? You're cruel. To me, you're heartless and all that other stuff, and you're very conniving. You know what I mean? And you're a liar. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. But that's pretty much it and shit. And you know I'll beat you in basketball, I'm waiting on it. But when it comes on to, let's get into some goods that you did. You know what I'm saying? I had to break you down a little bit. Now let's get into some goods. So goods, what I would say, what it pertains to Drakey, you know what I'm saying, is you know, let's start with musical favorites. He did do some musical favorites for me. I like to bring up Scorpion. This is something he literally wrote for me. Like, let me show. Literally, he said in the album, "I'm serving up a pack." He's serving up a mixtape for me. He wrote that mixtape for me, right? Good musical favorite. The Scorpion 2018. This was one of Drake's last musical favorites for me. Outside of Money in the Grave, this is one of his last musical favorites for me. The only thing about Money in the Grave is I ain't got no money. But Scorpion was a nice little thing he wrote for me. You know what I mean? All that other shit, right? And obviously he did other musical songs for me, but we just gonna pretend that the most recent one. Just like I'm missing a Young Thug project, I'm missing a Drake project. And obviously he got another one called More Life. You know what I mean? He did a few favors with me for that, but mainly on Scorpion is when he really did them. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But obviously he got a few other past ones you could say or whatever, but I like to look into Scorpion because he literally like wrote this for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. Well, he didn't write it, his team did. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's what ended up happening and shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, when it pertains to everything else. Yeah, I would say, uh, well, the other goods that Drake did besides him doing the music is he got people he gives people to see the good in me as far as like he gives people to see the good in me. He gives men and I guess women who hate, but he gives men and women to see the good in me because you know he's really jealous of me, so he'll get you to see the good in me. So for example, he'll get a nigga to see my talents. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. That's what he'll do. You know what I mean? He'll get, you know what I mean? Niggas to come talk to me and shit. All that other shit. Not women, but he'll get, you know what I mean, niggas to come do that to me and shit. I know if I got Drake as a ruler, I'm having a lot of niggas around me and shit, you know what I mean? That's just what it is, you know what I mean? Drake don't want to see me fall in love and shit. Kind of like a Tatashi Young, he don't want to see me fall in love and shit. So it's kind of like what it is. So it's like, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of like what it is and shit like that, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. I was saying, do the garbage as well. I mean, do the garbage. He want to see me like with a girl, but he don't want to see me fall. Nobody wants to see me fall in love. Honestly, let me just call everybody out on Front Street. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see me married, happy, and living in life. Nobody wants to see that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, yo. But when it come down to it and shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, I would say for Drake, I mean, he'll get niggas to see the good in me. Whereas a Young Thug, I mean, he ain't gonna do that. Young Thug gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? He gonna get you to not like me. Drake will get you to like me. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it is. You know what I mean? As much as he, hates, I noticed that, you know what I'm saying, when Drake is kind of has a little bit of a charge or whatever, like a take charge role in Chip. When he has a little bit of like a take charge role, he'll get people to see the good in me. You know what I'm saying? Whereas doo-doo garbage, he's kind of like, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna really get that. You know what I'm saying? Young Thug, you ain't gonna really get that. Drake will get you to, he'll manipulate you to see the good in me. You know what I mean? That's what he'll do and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I would say that much, and then the musical favors. And that's about it. You know what I mean? I named two for Young Thug, I named two for Drake, and then we're going to keep it rolling. So let's go ahead and go into DDG. You know what I'm saying? DDG, right? Now, DDG, me and DDG got history. Obviously, I knew of DDG ever since. You know what I mean? He was, I went to Hawaii with Kennedy. I'm not sure when that was. You know what I mean? I can look it up real quick because this is going to give me clarity with some shit. Alright, so DDG went to Hawaii with Kennedy around the summer of 2017. So I was 16 years old when I started watching DDG. So no wonder life got better for me with girls. Just do it for the culture, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? So that's why life got better with me when it pertains to, again, with girls. This was my new ruler, you know what I'm saying? So I went from Young Thug to DDG. So this is why things got better with me when it pertains to girls. Do it for him. That's kind of like what it's like, because, at first, with Young Thug, it was more natural, but with DDG, it would be weird because I'll approach a girl, and then all of a sudden, when they reject me, all of a sudden they trying to fuck with me. I'm like, what the fuck? That's kind of like what it is, right? But I started watching DDG when I was 16, turning 17. And yeah, man. But whenever it turns to DDG, let's go and talk about him, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Good YouTuber, and I like to say, I like watching him around this time because he was more humble. And then as I started watching him, as he found out with me, he got very arrogant and a big ego. And DDG feel as if he needs me to speak on him and shit. And I feel like DDG will be an alright person if he will lose his self-importance. If he would just be a little bit more humble, he will be an okay person. You know what I'm saying? But I look at how he talks to his friends. I look at how he flexes on his haters. Very arrogant. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody that I could not hang with because I'm going to be correcting you left and right. You're not going to be talking to people as if everybody's just your peasant. You're not going to do that around me. You know what I mean? That's just how it's going to be and shit. So when it comes down to it, it's like, you know what I'm saying? I know you think you me and shit, but that's not how I talk to people. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to niggas. I don't even talk. Why are you talking to a nigga you hang with, your brother, your cousin, as if they're your peasant? Even your own mom, you talking to her like you're a peasant. You talking as if you some god or something like that. Like you're not. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with you. You know what I mean? So one of DDG's issues is that he feels as if he's like very just in charge, overpowering. You know what I'm saying? Over everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think like it's all about me, and if Cameron is not feeling a certain type of way, I'm gonna make you do it so I can feel better and shit. So at least DDG has sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Drake, you know what I'm saying, who keeps it one-sided, and Young Thug, who pretty much keeps it one-sided as well. DDG has a general sympathy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it is and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to everything else, I think one of the biggest just flaws about his character is his ego. And that's one of the reasons why I was talking to him. I taught him how I taught him. In real life, I'm gonna be yelling at his ass and shit. Like, yeah, and we can go ahead and box. Because I'm not Ryan Garcia. I'm not gonna be training you, I'm gonna be attacking you. You better get him to train you, bitch. I bet you got spooked after you see me over there and shit, you know what I mean? I bet you that's what happened and shit. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm gonna do everything with you. You're gonna get some humbling. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get some, like, okay, this nigga is my successor. He's better me at everything in life. That's what you're about to get. You know what I mean? I need to know my place. That's what's about to happen and shit. I worship him. I copy him. All that other shit. That's what you gonna know. You know what I mean? All that other shit. But let me let me speak on a few more negatives. So his ego. I don't like how he treat women. I don't like how he treats girls, especially Haley, because he takes advantage of this girl. And to see what happens behind closed doors is crazy. I look at him and Kennedy. That was all recorded, right? At least Kennedy had a little bit of free will. At least she would stand up to the nigga. You know what I'm saying? I always be like, I'm in a relationship with you. You got to be like a Kennedy. You got to have a little bit of free will. You got to stand up. You can't just be submissive. You got to stand up. And obviously, girls don't serve me at all. But I'm just saying, in general, I wish all girls were like a Kennedy, like had that free will to defy you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wish all girls was like, you know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? And that don't mean, Kennedy, you can just come swoop on that and think you just fronting the lines. No, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That nigga come to you, he's yours, not mine. I mean, I'm funny. But what I'm saying is, that nigga, you used to be with that nigga, I don't want you. I'm just being real with you. If DDG fucked you, I don't want you. That sounds crazy, but it's true. If DDG fucked you, I don't want you. If any of these 5 tyrants fucked you, I don't want you. I'm gonna say it again. If any of these 5 tyrants fucked you, I don't want you. Just being blunt. You know what I mean? But yeah. How about this? Don't fuck no celebrity. How about that? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you gonna fuck your low rank ass boyfriend until we get in a relationship. You know what I mean? That's just what happens, you know what I mean? But anyway, when it comes down to DDG and shit, I mean, I would say that, you know what I mean, his ego, how he treat women, how he thinks money makes the world go round. I don't like how he always flexes money. It seems like he does everything for money. So it seems as if money is just his priority. So it makes it, for me, you know what I'm saying, it makes it seem like, you know, like, okay, he's using me as for money and shit, because I made this nigga. You know what I mean? Like, I made this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, if it wasn't for me, DDG will not be relevant. Like, I invented this dude. Like, shit. I invented this dude. Like, if I would never found him on YouTube, there's no way he would have as much money. There's no way he would even have the notoriety that he does now. So, DDG needs to give me a lot more respect. And that's the next thing. His lack of thanks. So, he's not thankful. His lack of thankfulness. You know what I'm saying? He's not thankful for what I've done for him. I put niggas on DDG. I told niggas listen to his music. Like, I made this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. You know what I mean? This nigga have the nerve. You know what I'm saying? To try to talk down on me and call me broke. Nigga, I gave you that money, pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking to me like that? You know what I mean? That don't even make sense. So his lack of thankfulness and all that other shit. You know what I mean? And we're gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much, you know. Now let me speak on the good with DDG, because you know how to name the negatives. Let's speak on the good with DDG. So the good in DDG is that, you know, I do like that he shows strong admiration to my music. You know what I'm saying? I do like that. You know what I mean? And I'm not, you know, bothered by it or anything like that. But I know DDG was talking as if he's talking this song on my own. Like, that's my favorite older song from you. Like, that's like the only older song I can literally bump, because all the rest of them you low-key dissing me. You know what I mean? That's literally the only old song I can bump, because you calling niggas broke, and you know, I'm like, I'm broke. I can't listen to this. You know what I mean? But on my own, that's the only like legit old DDG song I can literally bump. And the only thing I took from that was Clone. And I guess another little line in there, and then that's it. Only thing I took from DDG in music. You know what I'm saying? I never said I like it. And I mean, that other little line I was talking about, breadwinner and toast, or whatever the fuck he talking about, some shit like that. Maybe a little bit more specific. So that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing this nigga can say. And what I can say for DDG is that he stole Pioneer song from me. He stole Bankrolls. He stole other words and wordplay. He stole other words and wordplay. He stole Midwest Swings from me. I mean, he made a song called Midwest Swings. I mean, he literally, I mean, his biggest song is because of me. Like, I play a role into his biggest song. You know what I'm saying? Because he talking about moonwalking and shit. He got that obviously from Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. And obviously that came about because of my original songs. So his biggest song got invented because of me. And I just want to let niggas know that, you know what I mean? So when it come down to it, you know what I'm saying? I play a lot of role into DDG's success. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. But I do appreciate the musical favors that he has done for me, and all that other shit. Of course, you're not on Lil Baby level, but I would say you're definitely second as far as like totality of music. You know what I'm saying? I would say it would be Lil Baby first, then it would be you, or it might be you if we're looking at, because as far as we know, Lil Baby kind of only got one project, kind of just like Drake a little bit. that was too blunt. But you know, that's kind of like what it is as far as like accuracy. You at least got like a multitude of things you could pull out, do the garbage. So I would definitely say you probably, but you're two-sided a little bit. But I would say you're definitely, as far as like totality of musical favors, you're definitely, you know what I'm saying, one of my biggest fans. So yeah, I would say that shit, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like what it is. So I would say, yeah, you got a good, you know, thing. You need to do a mixtape. I heard you make my stomach growl. Yeah, you need to do a mixtape and catering to me. Like 100%, like blowing niggas, you know what I'm saying? All that other shit. You should do that, and your sales might actually go up for a change. You know what I'm saying? You look at Scorpion, that's Drake's most successful mixtape. Let me chill. That's Drake's most successful thing. He blow the fuck out of me in that shit. You want to hope to get your first sales and get 1 billion streams, you better do that to me. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby, obviously, you know, that's not his most biggest miss. His most biggest one is My Turn. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why it's My Turn is because I have involvement in that project, and the project before Street Gods Up, it corresponds with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what happens and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I played a role in Lil Baby's biggest mixtape, and Drake's biggest mixtape, and Young Thug's biggest mixtape, which is No, My Name Is Jeffrey. So if you want to get a biggest mixtape, you probably need to serve correctly, you know what I mean, and blow, but don't blow too hard. You know what I'm saying? Kind of speak as you, but kind of serve a little better. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it is. Don't serve too hard, obviously, but do a little better, and then you'll probably that's probably why you didn't get it yet, because you don't serve. That's probably why you never got 1 billion streams. You know what I mean? All that other shit. You know what I mean? So if you do that, then you might actually get it. So I would say get in the lab, serve a little better. Don't serve a quarter or a pint or a fraction. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta serve like halfway. Like, let it be known. Like, this is my nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? That you gotta let it be known, like Drake did, like Lil Baby, like Young Thug. You gotta let it be known. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be all right. You know what I mean? Then you'll hit that 1 billion stream mark. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest advice to you, but because you know you my son. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know what I mean? I would say this. I was talking about good things, so I said music. Videos. I do like the videos you did, you know, so let's get into the video side. As far as videos, I like this saga you did. It was like with the Nerf guns. That was a nice little series you put together, believe it or not. I like some of the pranks you did. You got some good videos, you know what I'm saying? And then your ability to keep entertaining on the vlogging side. I think, you know what I'm saying, I do like some of your videos, you know what I'm saying? But the problem I have with your videos is, you know what I mean, the problem, the problem, you know what I'm saying, the problem that I have, you know what I'm saying, with your videos is when you vlogging, but the vlog doesn't have like enough substance behind it. So in other words, it seems very like forced and far-fetched and like, hey, I'm getting ready to go here, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and bring a camera. Whereas like I like when you vlogging, like, you know what I'm saying, I like when you vlogging, like, okay, you know what I'm saying, let's say for example, okay, so today, you know what I'm saying, I gotta get ready to go here because I'm getting ready to do a video shoot. So it's like, okay, I gotta get ready to go to this mall. I gotta get this suit, just down the third. Then I gotta get ready to go here and do an interview at this radio station. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. I like when you have like a game plan where it's like, oh, hey, I'm getting ready, you know what I'm saying, go out to eat with the Shay. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and come along. Y'all just talking about bullshit just for a camera. I mean, who anybody want to see you eat? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it's like. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I like when your videos are more planned versus forced. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? And all that other shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. But that is what I'm saying. I like when your videos are planned versus forced. You know what I'm saying? That's probably the same what people would think for me. But I was kind of freestyling towards like I was low key. I was freestyling. I did write out my videos, but let me check. But eventually, I trashed writing my videos and just went off my head because niggas was predicting me and they were thwart ideas. So that's why I just went off my head. And anything I got better when I stopped planning my videos and kind of just doing them as I see fit. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? And obviously, I excluded any type of bladder from it to take full credits. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? But that's why I ended up having this shit, you know, I'm on top of this shit. But yeah, when it comes to it and shit, I like your videos when they're planned versus forced. And then besides that, I would say I like your experiments. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I like your experiments and all that other shit, you know what I mean? Gave me a lot of closure, you know what I'm saying? All that other shit, truthfully. You know what I mean? Nowadays, there's a lot of manipulation that makes it seem like this, that, and the third, but it gave me closure from back in the day because obviously your power wasn't as strong. You know what I'm saying? You really don't have a lot of power anyway. It's more of like a tyrantess or a little baby who kind of like the main Orthotazione. Your power don't equate to them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like what it is or shit, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah. I would say, you know, those old videos you did gave me closure on, you know, reasons why and shit. But anyway, story for another day and shit, you know what I mean? But it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? But I would just say that, you know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? So those are the good things I like about you. You know what I mean? All that other shit. But at the end of the day, you're a bitch, you're an asshole, and I look forward to doing whatever with you and all that other shit. And you hate and jealous of me, just like the other two Tyrants. And yeah, let me go on chip. And yeah. That's kind of like what it is and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to everything else, I would say, you know what I mean? As far as musically, I would say if you serve me a little better, then you'll get your first uh, good project and good hits and shit. So talk to Drake, talk to Lil Baby, talk to Young Thug, and if you serve me better in the project, you'll succeed. That's my biggest advice to you. That's how people will notice you and give you your proper respect. Because niggas don't really respect your music, obviously. They respect your videos more than your music. So musically, in order for you to get that respect, you have to respect me. So once you respect me, then you'll get respect. And that's the reason why your videos do better than your music, because you don't respect me musically enough. So when you submit to me fully, but I'm not saying worship me in your songs, but I'm saying just, you know, cater to me a little bit more. I mean, shut. That's when niggas will finally come listen to you, and you'll get the respect you deserve. But yeah, I was saying musically, not in general. But yeah, that's just what it come down to and shit. Cause I don't tell you, I know talent when I hear it. If anything, you're more talented than a Drake. You know what I'm saying? You're more talented. Well, yeah, because Drake don't write. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would definitely, you know, yeah, yeah. But I would say, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're more talented than Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby's talented in every song. So you're more talented than him, right? You know what I mean? But at least Lil Baby, we're going to get into him next. You're more talented. Oh, nah, you're not enough to touch, you know. I ain't going to lie, nah. I would say you're more talented musically, you know what I'm saying, than, honestly, I would say outside of just the vocabulary part itself, when it comes to just delivery and what you're saying and what you're talking about, I would say I don't think I can't. I think Young Thug is better than you. I think Drake is better than you. I think you rival with a Lil Baby and Tentacion, truthfully. But Tentacion, I would say, yeah, I think you do. I think Tentacion is a bit overrated. I'm not gonna lie. Tentacion is a bit overrated, but he got sales. So it's like, there's no way I can, at least it came from me. But I was like, I don't know, what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes your music sounds very different. You know what I mean? I can't say that it's not skilled because it's different. He got some different type of shit. Not my type of shit. But he got some this some shit, this is not rap music or whatever the case may be. It's like some different other shit. So it's kinda like what it is. But it's not my type. You know what I mean? But I know that it's different. So there's no way I can say that it's not skilled or talented. You know what I mean? It's just not my type of music. I only like a few of his songs. I guess what I'm trying to say is Tata's music is not my type. You know what I'm saying? I know I was probably gonna hurt him, but the music that he made or whatever, it just wasn't my type of music. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I never really got into him. I only like a few songs from the nigga. But push comes to shove, he's a good artist. You know what I mean? His music, it goes from all type of other people to listen to. I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but I'm just saying, his music is not my type for me to get into. But anyways, you know what I mean? That's enough for you to do, girl. Just going to get into the Tatiana right now, a little baby for last. So, y'all making me get ready to go poop. So when it comes to Tatiana and shit, you know what I mean? I was saying, let's talk about the bad first, obviously. So the bad is this. You're a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? You are manipulative. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit. You are an industry plant. You attach yourself to me for some reason. You know what I'm saying? You a bitch. I'm gonna let that be known. You know what I mean? You're a liar. You know what I'm saying? Just like all the rest of the tyrants. Let me go and give clarity. You know what I mean? You are pretty horrible. You know what I'm saying? I look at the possibility of the realm. You know what I'm saying? If you want to kill me because I surpassed you is the worst thing in the world. I mean, you're awful. You want to kill my child. First, you go from killing my child to wanting to kill me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let me have a child. You was gonna let me have one. Now you don't want to let me have one. You know what I'm saying? You are the worst thing ever. You are a temper tantrum maniac. You are a heathen, scummy son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? You're awful, right? You know what I mean? But besides that, you know what I mean? You Drake don't want me to have a kid either. That bitch. And I'm telling you, if this nigga don't find a way to have me have a kid, and I gave Drake ways of how he can redeem himself. And I was, you're not as bad as Drake. You're not as bad as Drake. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You're awful. You know what I'm saying? Like you just awful. You are horrible. But yeah, that's just what it is and shit, you know what I mean? But let's speak on the good. So the good is this, and also bad you blow me and shit. But let's speak on the good, right? So the good is this. The good is that, you know what I'm saying, you have a different mindset versus these other rappers. Your mindset is definitely different. I heard you speak before. You have a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? You seem very more down to earth. So in other words, you'll walk by a group of kids and go play basketball with them. Drake wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? You would. You know what I mean? So you're a lot more down to earth, like for the people. You know what I mean? All that other shit. You know what I mean? I would say, you know what I mean? You that kind of seems like me a little bit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're a lot more, you know what I'm saying? I would say brave. Oh man, that sounds like you're a trash can. I just want to go let you know that you're a trash can. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go let you. I said brave because the risk you took to make certain music that you know that will backfire on you and shit. You're trash, you know what I'm saying? I'm left by you know what I'm saying? I am not you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a killer, I'm not a fighter, I'm not a dictator, I'm not a manipulator. You know what I'm saying? Let me look at you real quick, son. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I mean? You're evil, you're bad. You got women out here not fucking with me. You got dudes out here, you know what I mean, that want to try me because you don't want them to try me harder than a Drake. Drake will do some voodoo on you or some shit. You, on the other hand, you just some dominant ass figure, you know what I'm saying? With a chain and think you me and shit. You a bitch. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I mean? And I hope you realize this, you know what I'm saying? You are awful. I gotta stop talking about you because you're trash, you know, left by you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it come down to and shit, you know what I mean? You're a blower. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck you are, you know what I'm saying? And you worship me, you know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is and shit, you know what I mean? The only thing you can do is music, you bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it come down to and shit. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? I would say this, you know what I mean? I would say this, you know what I mean? You're a fan, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to know that you're alive. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I mean? Figure your death is insane. And I'm gonna come see your kid and probably adopt him. You know what I mean? All that other shit, you know what I mean? So that's just what it come down to. And all that other shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo. And he'll be able to give me more information about you. And push come to shove, if when everything breaks, I will come see your kid because I don't think you're allowed to see me anymore. So I was like, yo. So as is talking about, I guess I'm not sure if he's talking about me or other people, but I see the screen moving. I'm like, do you think you're better than me musically? Prelude and up me, but I'll give Prelude to you because you're that aggressive. You good memories and up me. That I guess good memories not a talented project because you can't do pain like me. You can't count money like me, and you haven't experienced the sex like me. And I'll go ahead and what's the other project? COVID-19, me too. So what are you saying? I'll give you if you want to take some credit, even though I don't even know your songs. I'm gonna do you like my child. I'll give you all the old songs except Good Memories and COVID-19, and those two songs are better than all the ones that below because the other songs they mimic COVID-19. Just like how you took some shit from me. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like what it is, right? You still, what are you saying? You know what I mean? Like, what? You have no originality. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. So yeah, what are you saying? I'm original. You're not. So what are you saying? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I'm on top of you on like that. And all that you possibly is probably better than me at is music. What else can you do? Kill? Like, what the fuck? Shoot a nigga down? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. I'm like, let me chill one more time. That shit don't even make sense. You a tyrant and shit. You a bitch. So I just want to go let that be known. You know what I mean? You are one. So don't ever even come at me with that bullshit. You can good marry me up if you want to be factual to the T and exclude bankrolls, which I will eventually get money. And we already spoken that earlier in the video. I'm pretty sure you saw that. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. And I didn't encourage him my old Instagram name, you fool. You know what I mean? That's what I really did it for. But it's like, yeah, that's what it come down to. But yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the Tassioni Tyrant. You know what I mean? So I think I named everybody. Oh, Lil Baby. Ooh, last but not least, you know, I almost forgot to measure. You was gonna be in this bitch shining. I measure you real quick. You gotta get something too. So when it comes down to Lil Baby, I'm gonna look away. I had to look at the. No, I'm gonna look at you too. You know, so I gotta keep it cordial. So when it comes down to Lil Baby and shit, you know what I mean? I ain't found out about him until 2018. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he came out with a little project for me, Street Gossip, and then he came out with other singles past that. Glad he did. You know what I'm saying? Let me know some shit. And this is why I told you the garbage to do. This is your best way to, you know, get your respect in the music industry. You do this shit, you never gotta do it again. Niggas still gonna follow you just because you did it. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what it is, right? So that's why I'm giving DDG some sauce. This is how you gonna get recognized through the garbage. You know what I mean? All that other shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo. But when it comes down to it and shit, you know what I mean? It's like, glad he did this shit. And then after that, his other album got recognized because of me and shit. But he had other albums other than that shit. Solid rapper, you know what I'm saying? Lil Baby is somebody I'll say you listen to and just cruising in the car or you taking out trash, you know, cleaning up and shit. You know what I mean? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But yeah. Am my teeth getting straighter or is it just me? I don't know, man. But anyway, you know what I mean? When it come down to it and shit, you know what I mean? I'm just playing with y'all. They still look the same, man. They a little whiter. They a little whiter, that's why they look straighter. If you whiten your teeth, they look straighter. I'm not sure if y'all know that. You can look that up on Google. When you whiten your teeth, they look straighter versus when they're yellow, they're a little more crooked. Drop a little science for you. You know what I mean? All that other shit. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it and shit, yeah, man, Lil Baby is, let's name the bad and Lil Baby, then we'll go to the good. So the bad and Lil Baby is, you know what I'm saying? the bad in Lil Baby is he feel very entitled to my music. You know what I'm saying? He feels as if he own rights. I mean, literally, this dude said I retired from music. He never retired. He said that, you know what I'm saying, he owned rights. He said something about rights or something like that. Like he owned all the rights to my music and shit like that. He feels very entitled to my music. I'm like, fuck you. Another thing is, you know what I'm saying, he is gangster related. He's more gangster than like Young Thug, right? So he really tapped into the gangster shit and all that other shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, don't involve me with that shit. I'm not a gangster, as you may know. You know what I'm saying? That's not who I am. Don't involve me, you know what I'm saying, with the gangster shit. You fuck around and get me killed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no gangster, not no killer. Young X is just like a pure killer. You gangster killer, you know what I'm saying? It's just the differences between, you know what I mean, all that other shit. You probably want to finish them. You know, you're a thug. You know what I'm saying? That's probably, you know what I'm saying? When that happened, you know what I'm saying? All that other shit. So it's like, yo. But when it comes down to everything else, I mean, I think you're dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You put me in predicaments. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like, you know, with hoes or just in general, you know what I'm saying? Like a CVS, you probably was involved in that shit. You know what I mean? You had a nigga in the beanies, so that was probably you. Apparently you came up with beanies, so apparently that was you and shit. You know what I mean? All that other shit. So it's like, yo, you know what I mean? You were dangerous and you're a bad person. You know what I mean? All that other shit. So it's like, yo, that's kind of like what it is and shit. So it's like, yo, you know what I mean? I would say, yo, when it come down to it, I would say, you know what I mean? You need to, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, you know what I mean? You put me in dangerous situations. Flaw number one. Flaw number two, you know what I'm saying? I would say is that you are a bit too. Let me think. Flaw number two. Okay, you when you speak, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be, and I appreciate realness, but you can go about it in a more different way. You know what I'm saying? A nigga like you gonna make a nigga get better. For example, you know what I'm saying? He came out with some shit. The baby came out with his interview, right? He go talking about eggs in one basket, or whatever the case may be. So after he made that video, let me tell you what songs I made. After he made that video, I made a Lena Holic, I made a Pristine, I made a Ross, I made fuck, a few other songs, whatever the case may be. Yeah, man. So it's like, yeah, he made that shit. I decided to go harder, get better and shit. You know what I mean? All that other shit. You know what I mean? But when you think about it, though, that video aged well, and that's what a lot of people need to think about when it pertains to me. I'm the basket. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put all your eggs in it. You don't want to put all your hope in it. You know what I mean? I'm the basket. So don't put all your hope into me. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make. You know what I mean? Don't put all your hope into me. What the fuck? Don't put all your hope into me, man. I always say, you know what I'm saying? There's always, what the fuck? Dude is literally, yeah, I'm going to keep looking this way. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Dude, and look, I don't know who let niggas in and out. This is a pretty long video, but this is a video that needs to be made and shit. I'm glad I'm doing it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then he obviously blowed me in a couple of songs. And that's cool. You know what I mean? All that other shit. I don't have a problem. I mean, Doo Doo Garbage did the same thing. I mean, that's why I say when it comes to musically, Lil Baby, I'm not sure if I said it yet, but Lil Baby and Doo Doo Garbage are the most, when it pertains to my biggest fans in the music industry, I would say it's definitely Lil Baby and Doo Doo Garbage. Those are my biggest fans. You know what I'm saying? Just based off their repeated blowing. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of like what it is. You know what I mean? Drake obviously don't blow no more. You know, Doug fell off. And then to tell you, he ain't got no more songs. So when it comes down to it, these are repeated blowers, so they definitely are fans of me when it comes to the music. So I know that you like my shit, and vice versa for the both of y'all. But I would say with Doo Doo Garbage, I like more of his older songs versus his newer ones because his newer ones are more freestyle, right? And it don't really sound as good as the older ones. Just me being honest. Your older songs sound better because they're written. You know what I mean? Your newer songs, even though they're freestyle, your newer songs will be better. Your newer songs, what they're missing is missing direction. You know what I'm saying? It's missing like a plot, like a storyline. You know what I'm saying? Like a plan behind it. You know what I mean? It's missing that, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like what it is. And then you got these like club maker type of songs. You need to write something a little bit more meaningful behind it, or freestyle something more meaningful behind it. So that's why DDG couldn't get to that, level. But I'll just say, if you just serve me, if you don't know what direction to go with your music, just serve me halfway. I guarantee you niggas will respect you in the music industry only if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a good artist. If anything, behind Young Thug and Drake, you're the third most out of this whole group. Talented artist. You know, I'm just being real with you. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But anyways, you know what I mean? Back to Lil Baby and shit, I mean. I would say when Lil Baby say things, you can say it, but don't try to recruit people with you. Because Lil Baby's a bit of a manipulator himself. So Lil Baby will say some shit. Lil Baby will say some shit, right? You know what I mean? And try to recruit people to agree with his opinion when he know he's a little off or could be wrong. You know what I mean? All that other shit, right? So, that's kind of what it is. But one thing I do appreciate about Lil Baby is realness. You know what I'm saying? I feel like niggas a real nigga. I like realness. You know what I mean? So that's why, he's rooting for me and shit, what it seems. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I know he wouldn't kill me, so it's kind of like, it go both ways and shit, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Let me spit. That's kind of like what it is and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I know that, you know what I'm saying? He definitely, you know what I'm saying, has a way of, you know what I mean, serving me, as you can see in street gossip, you know what I mean, all that other shit. Because around this time, it was definitely like I think everybody wanted to be God around this time. You got Drake, DDG, Young Thug. But Lil Baby didn't say he was. Lil Baby said I was. You know what I mean? That's the difference between them. You know what I mean? Whereas a Drake, even though he's rhyming for me, he's kind of trying to combine both of us. Lil Baby definitely singled me out. You know what I mean? All that other shit. It's not no combination. You know what I mean? So whereas like a DDG will try to combine, or Drake will try to combine, or Young Thug, Lil Baby will let it be known like this is who I like serve and shit. Let me check real quick. So it's kind of like, yeah, you know what I mean? That's like the difference between them and shit. But when it comes down to everything else, you know what I mean, I would say, you know what I mean, Lil Baby is definitely, you know what I mean, I think a few more negatives. So negative is he's dangerous, you know what I mean, sometimes what he says could affect me. So what he say, you know what I mean, could affect me. He tries to corrupt and recruit. He likes to recruit. And then he's dangerous, you know what I mean? And then besides that, I don't know, I named two for Young Thug, I named Multitude for Drake, and DDG obviously, because these are my two biggest rivals. And then Tentacion, I had to throw him in there as well. His ass, he need to be in there as well. So I could name more, but we're gonna keep it at that. And then the good, I appreciate the musical favors. And then another thing, as far as like what you do in real life, you try to make my life better. You know what I mean? All that other shit, as far as like, you know what I mean? Your role. Like I know you played a role at Home Depot and shit. You know what I mean? As far as like, I don't know. I don't know what role you played there. I ain't even gonna lie. You know what I mean? But I feel like you did. You know what I'm saying? Maybe with people and shit. I don't know. I mean, who knows? I know for sure you, DDG and Drake played a role in things that happened at Home Depot. You had a little input, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you didn't, because maybe the Home Depot ends would be like, let's keep him physical and he is not y'all. That's probably what Home Depot was thinking. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, because when you think about it, nobody at Home Depot had their contact. And then I got rejected and shit when I shouldn't even got rejected. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Home Depot was probably like, let's keep him physical. You know what I mean? All that other shit. That's probably what Home Depot was thinking. Because I seen a post going, I used to hate that I used to work at these jobs. I'm glad I do my own shit. That's essentially what it said. So it's like, yeah. But that's pretty much it and shit. Let me shut. So as far as Lil Baby, I just love he does behind the scenes. I like the musical favors. Let me name a legit thing though. Let me see. I like that. The baby does some things with girls. You know what I'm saying? Just like Young Thug a little bit. I definitely feel like, cause I mean, at Home Depot, it seems like I can get any bitch I want. You know what I mean? All that other shit. You know what I mean? So I know. You know what I mean? But it's such these. There was actually four girls. Even though I named the three of them, there was one more hoe. I feel like any bitch I want. And definitely, I was listening to Lil Baby around that time, as you may know. But you got other people as well. But the difference is when I listen to Doo Doo Garbage around a certain time, that wasn't the case. With Lil Baby, it is. You know, you kind of use a little bit of that common sense, and all that other shit. So it's like, yo, that's kind of like how it be and shit like that. So I definitely feel like Lil Baby could, you know, what I mean, get a bitch to, you know, I mean, you listen to the songs and shit. You know, what I mean, you know that he could, you know, he had that, you know, voodoo and all that other shit. He make that shit happen. So that's kind of like what it is. So it's like, yo. You know what I mean? So I'll say you're the more stronger. When LaBaby was president, I feel like even around the time, like, even back when I was listening to him and shit, I mean, even when I had him just as a profile pic, all that shit, I mean, dude still had played a role. I'm like, I gotta get ready to shit. I damn, I got up the shit. You know what I'm saying? Even around this time, I mean, there's times that, you know what I mean, around the time when Lil Baby I was listening to, dude, that, you know, he had a little bit of role with women. But you know me, around this time, I was a virgin, right? So I see a hoe as a no-no. That's kind of like what it is and shit. So it's like, yo. But, that's pretty much it and shit, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo. When it comes down to it, let me name one more thing, though. I think that, you know what I mean, when it comes to Lil Baby, so outside music and girls, I would say I think that Lil Baby. Let me see. I need to think of something that Lil Baby legitimately does. It's kind of hard because I don't really know him like that. Let me think back at his interviews. You know what I mean? Um, um, fuck. I don't know, man. I guess it's just because I know Drake and DDG more than Tentacion. And well, I don't know, man. I hear it. I got no car going over that bitch. Yeah, I know what Drake does because, you know what I mean, of, you know, snitches and, you know, him always calling me. I hear this nigga voice like, and then DDG because I watch him. You know what I mean? But I did mention Tentacion. I mean, what I said about him was just based off the small clips I've seen through academics. I'm going on base what he said, and my brother what he told me. So that's what I'm going off of. But obviously with Young Thug, I ain't name a lot of good in Young Thug. So I mean, you can kind of you don't have to feel so bad. I mean, I don't really know you too well to. I'm trying to think of what good you legitly did. So it's kind of like I don't really know. You know what I mean? I mean, you're probably just my biggest fan, pretty much. You know what I mean? Or some shit like that. Maybe you do some shit I just don't really know of. Like I don't really know, man. Maybe you have some involvement with my family. Maybe you have involvement with me getting his apartment. I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? I did delay my looking time. I did see that on time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. Oh, phone. Almost getting ready to go out. Let me go ahead and just see. Ooh, my legs hurt. Yeah, that's kind of like what it is. Let me go and charge this real quick. But we about said everything we needed to say. We went over all 5 tyrants. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about skills before Chip and 5 tyrants. That's what we're going to talk about. That's going to be the name of this video. And it's a long video. You know what I mean? But it works. And all that other shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. You know what I'm saying? This video. I gotta get ready to edit it and shit, but I hope y'all enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you on the next one.